Hello, citations. What to do with Sadot the Gamer, all father, Durag Nation, know the vibes, like, subscribe. Let's get it. Happy New Year. We are back. It is 2024. First stream of the year. Had a nice little vacation. How's everyone doing out in Durag Nation on this fine Wednesday, January the 3rd? What's up, King Kirby, Cap Tay, Last Avenger Standing? What it do? What's up, Superior Edit, Scythe, Champagne? Shout out to all my members holding it down, even in the new year. Exclamation mark join to become one of the cool kids. Unlock all the channel perks. What's up, Living Kings? What's up, person? Dr. Stein, Bruno in the building. What's up, Isaiah? What do, Grayson? What's up, Chill, Ania? Happy New Year. How's everyone's holidays? Decided to kick off 2024. Trying some things. I know I was gonna stream for the podcast, but I was like, I want to stream before the podcast, but I didn't have a game that I was sure I wanted to stream, so we're going to try some stuff out. I want to do more live content weekly, but I'm not sure what yet, so I'm going to be testing different stuff. We'll see how well each works. Going to start by experimenting with a little super news live, where we just talk about some superhero news and rumors and everything like that. We'll see how interested anyone is in that. We'll just go over all the latest news stories and everything like that related to whether it's Marvel or DC. Then I'll try some different stuff out, different type of shows. We'll have a show about video games, have a show about some other stuff. We'll see how that goes. So for today, we're going to be talking MCU, going over the latest, what to look forward to in 2024, the latest around the upcoming MCU projects. We're going to be talking some War Hulk, Avengers 5, Spider-Man 4, all that good stuff. Echo also is coming out, and we got some new stuff for that. That's going to be interesting. On a live squad this month, yes sir. It's going to be interesting month. It's going to be interesting, definitely for gaming, for sure. It's going to, especially when we get to February. Oh boy. But yeah, January for sure is about to get spooky. Can't wait for it. So I had some stories pulled up, but Reddit decided to stop working, so I have to find everything all over again. Spider-Man 4. So once again, to be clear, we're going to be talking. I'm going to be talking about and going over stories, news related to the MCU. That means live action stuff, Marvel, DC projects. So when I say War Hulk, I'm of course talking about the War Hulk movie. And when I say Spider-Man 4, I'm of course talking about the Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, the next one as part of the series. This would be his 4th Spider-Man movie. Yeah, we got some updates on casting too. There was some news on, we just got some breaking news yesterday about the Thunderbolts movie. We got some info about Jonathan Majors possibly having a replacement. Oh, here we go. Pull some stuff up. Seems to be working now. So I think War Hulk will follow the comics. When it comes to the MCU and comic book accuracy, do not assume. You're setting yourself up for failure. If you're expecting, if at this point, especially if you're still expecting 1-to-1 accuracy of any kind from Marvel, you're surely setting yourself up for failure. It's simply not happening. I wish they were more, comic book accurate. But that ain't in the cards. Especially if you've been following the Hulk stuff. Because you already see that everything's all already completely off. Like if you watch She-Hulk, which I know, to be fair, a lot of people didn't, but if you watch She-Hulk, you saw Bruce Banner come back to the barbecue with a scar, meaning that he already did the whole Planet Hulk thing that leads into War Hulk, which means off rip, especially when you look at Scar, they did not do anything accurate. Yeah. I'm hoping that they, change things up for the movie. At least, obviously, it's not going to be super accurate, but I hope at least that they, drop the nonsense and make a badass movie. I'm hearing some interesting things about it. We'll see how it pans out. We'll talk about it. The Spider-Man 2 DLC and the New Game Plus update are two different things. Any New Year's resolutions for the channel? 100k subs. That is the goal. Capte, thank you for the 16 months, my friend. New year from the last Avengers standing. Yes, sir. Anti-Venom and Spider-Man 4. That would be interesting, but doubtful. They would have to introduce Venom for the first time. And that seems like a lot for the first Spider-Man movie after the events of No Way Home. They set the stage for Venom for sure, but making that, I don't know about making that the first. As you just want to dive right into that. Just want to dive right into Venom. Could they even do Venom? That's the other thing, because I don't know, because they have a thing with Sony. In case you forgot, Sony and Marvel are kind of like sharing Spider-Man, at least in terms of the movies, because Sony technically owns the film rights. So they're the reason we're even getting MCU Spider-Man movies is because they're making a deal to, share money and to grant Marvel limited ability to make their own live action Spider-Man movies. but there are limitations that are built into, you know, the arrangement. Like, so, you know, certain stuff they can't do. Like that's why the MCU Spider-Man has MJ but not Mary Jane, you know? You know, certain stuff like that. So even though they had the symbiote, you know, get left behind in the Tom Holland universe, I don't know how much of the Venom storyline they're even able to do, because Sony has their own Venom universe thing going on. They're working on their third Venom movie, and they opted not to do a crossover yet between that Venom and the Tom Holland one. So I don't know if they're gonna. So I don't know if the MCU even can have their own Venom. It depends on where they're going with that, because I could imagine them maybe feeling some type of way if they're trying to, you know, make new Venom movies, and the MCU is making like competing Venom movie. You know, how long / what made you want to be a content creator? I've been a content creator since 2021, and I mainly doing it because it's fun and I'm successful at it. I watched other content creators, but I had no practical interest in doing it because I didn't think I could. And then when I succeeded at it, I was like, oh well, might as well keep doing it. if I if I wasn't successful, I wouldn't have bothered. But when I saw that I could actually do it, I was like, oh well, something to pursue. Yeah, maybe the symbiote suit. We'll see. We'll see if how far they want to go there. Yeah, that's like a I don't know. I don't know about that one. I am curious about Spider-Man 4 though, in general. So we'll get into that. All right, let's get into some updates. I got Reddit working in limited capacity. Boss going to do the right things in the Kobe era. Oh, this is the Kobe era. Right, that's right, 24. Oof. Rest in power to the Black Mamba. That was crazy. Still weird thinking that Kobe's gone. That was like that was definitely the I think that was definitely the character. That was definitely the celebrity death that hit the hardest, for sure. Losing Kobe, that was just crazy. Well, season 2 was dope, was effing dope. What's up, Young Hawk? What If season 2? I definitely wouldn't describe it as effing dope. I liked it for the most part. It was definitely a step down from season 2, from season 1. Like, I'd say in terms of consistency, it was better. Like the art, like the animation was definitely a step down overall. But in terms of the like overall consistency, it had less episodes that it basically had no episodes that were bad. You know, I liked it. Never said I didn't like it. I said it's not that, I wouldn't say it was effing great. And definitely I think it's worse than season 1. The issue is that I think that season 1 had a few bad episodes and like 1 or 2 episodes that were just like mid, and then the rest was just like insane. Whereas the entirety of season 2 was just like okay, with like 1 or 2 episodes that I would describe as good, but nothing that like blew me away. That's what I would say. Cause yeah, the ceiling on season 2 was much lower. It just had more consistency. I just thought overall it was just overall it was definitely to me a worse season. Both in terms of the art and in terms of the stories. I just didn't think, I thought they were mostly just fine, just decent. I think the best episodes from season 2 were, I say, the what if Peter Quill fought the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and Captain Carter and Black Widow versus the Hydra Stomper. I thought those were overall like the best quality episodes, maybe. And oh yeah, and Hela as what if Hela got the 10 rings was probably the best episode, I would say, by far. The rest of it was just like, oh, that's cool. Like the finale in the season 1 was way better compared to season 2. It's kind of, season 2 I just felt just had way better episodes. Like they just had, I feel like they went for it more, and they had some episodes that like really landed. Like there were, the main difference was like, yeah, what if season 2 didn't have any bad episodes? They just didn't have many episodes that like was like, oh wow, that's crazy. Like they were just all like solid for the most part. Like Hiyori episode, solid, you know, cool that they're introducing, at least making an original character instead of just race swapping an existing one. Like that's what you should do more of that, please. But most of the episodes just like, like the medieval Avengers one was just like, just kind of mid. What's up, Raby? What's up, Venom? Captain Carter getting the Infinity Stone sword made of vibranium. Having hell, it just, that episode in particular just got wacky. like yeah, what if Doctor Strange intervened? Like that episode had so much plot armor and just nonsense. It was like all over the place. I was like what is this episode, bro? Like the season one had a way better finale. Like the build up from the episode where Ultron went in Vision's body, one shot Thanos, and then started expanding throughout all the universes and like became a real universal threat, leading the lead up to that, building up into the showdown with the Watcher, and then looping in all the other heroes from the different timelines. Like that was nuts. Then you had just great individual episodes, like the murder mystery, where somebody was taking out the Avengers one by one. You found out it was a Hank. Like that was crazy. Like they had so many like the highs of season one were crazy, and the overall narrative was just so much better than season two. Season two was just like, like it had a couple stand episodes, and then it just kind of to me just ended like on a. It's like, oh, this is what it's building up to. Mid. She had more plot armor than Goku. She had more plot armor than Batman. Goku doesn't really have plot armor. Like Goku's victories are pretty much earned. Like he has canonical plot armor to a degree because he gets the Zenkai boost. But that's like canon. They put that in there and they incorporate that into the actual story. Like he can get stronger. Saiyans can get stronger if they're near death and survive and recover. But Goku, loses. Like he's not someone who wins all the time, like pulls victories out of nowhere. Like he will lose a fight, and then he'll do his training, come back, make his adjustments, and get the dub. Like he doesn't have to rely on like plot armor, because he uses, if he can't win on power, he wins on strategy. He earns those. Like that was just all over the place. Purple Hawk, yeah, the Happy Hogan. Yeah, that was a fun episode. Yeah, when it was basically Die Hard with Happy. That was fun. It looked weird, but it was fun. He definitely looks weird as Purple Hawk. Let's talk a little bit about the War Hulk movie. We got a couple updates. Reportedly, we're going to have some Red Hulk potentially popping up in a War Hulk, but more importantly, and Red Hulk, of course, is going to be introduced in Captain America 4. But this is from Insider Alex P. In response to, is it wrong to say we need a smaller scale Avengers film before the big scary multiverse Avengers film? I'm not even saying that because I want to see Sam lead a team. 10 movies with heroes interacting is the glue that holds the universe together. 7 years without one is, and that's where he's referring to World War Hulk. So the World War Hulk movie is going to be kind of like that small scale Avengers film that leads us into all the multiversal shenanigans. So it's going to have tie-ins to Captain America 4, which is currently being completely reshot, which is wild. It's actually wild that they're reshooting that whole movie. But we're gonna have Red Hawk popping up in the MCU finally. I'm hoping for the best from Captain America 4, but it's usually not a good sign when you got to reshoot a whole movie. But it's better that they recognize that they're going down the wrong path and fix it rather than just put it out anyway. But it is concerning. I'm definitely worried about Captain America 4. Be worried about Captain America 4. Be worried about Captain America 4. You glad the writer strike ended last year? Can't wait for Tom Holland to get the symbiote somehow. Yeah, it's definitely glad it's over. Well, it remains to be seen, how well it'll work out for everybody. Yeah, yeah, the whole Captain America 4 reshot. Any updates on Nova? Let me check. Because I know there's a lot of MCU stuff that was like in the pipeline that might not be. I haven't heard anything lately. Let's see. This is the most recent article I found. This one's about the Nova Corps. So this is the latest I've seen about it. This is from Screen Rant. This is the latest I found about this. Apparently it's not a show anymore. Apparently they're going to make it a movie. I don't know where they're going to find time for it though. or it's going to be the other way around. It was going to be a movie. Now it's going to be a show. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is because I haven't heard anything lately at all about Nova. I know the current I know the current MCU timeline is like it's they're still doing Iron. I know they're still doing Iron Wars. So this year we got Echo, we got Deadpool 3, we got X-Men. I know they're still doing the Agatha show. I think they're still going to release Ironheart. I know they don't want to. I think they still are. They got to figure out Avengers 5 and 6. They got Fantastic Four, Captain America 4. The Disney Plus stuff is kind of tricky. I know they got the issue with the Disney Plus stuff is that it's been such a failure that they're like pulling back a bit because they're realizing like they were spending so much money on Disney Plus and just not getting anything out of it, especially because not just because of the quantity of stuff, but just the lack of quality. So that's why they've been pulling back on a lot of stuff. Fortunately, they banked a lot of projects, so you're gonna see them getting stuff out. Like reportedly, they weren't even trying. They were trying to give Echo the Batgirl treatment and just like shelve it without releasing it for a tax write-off. But from what I heard, they kept it around because they thought they might need some kind of content just in case the strike went on too long. Otherwise, they were just trying to get rid of this. They did not want to want to release that. So they're trying to. What's up, Craig? Happy New Year, my friend. They're trying to avoid doing too much, where they're just dropping a bunch of projects that probably aren't going to do well. They've been rebooting other ones, like they start like Daredevil Born Again. They're still committed to that, but you know they basically fired everybody and started over from scratch because what they had so far was apparently terrible. So I don't know about a Nova show. Yeah, about to show the fun. I show. Oh, you already know it. Echo's gonna be mid. I mean, it might be worse than that. Did y'all see the fight scene that leaked? But well, apparently they released a preview of it on TV. It's making the rounds. They just went out and released the fight scene in Echo where she fights Daredevil. Did y'all see that? I feel about the verdict on Jonathan Major. I don't understand the verdict at all, but that's the law. That's the system. We'll see if he appeals, but it didn't make sense to me. That whole trial was just weird. A fight scene. You saw it? You gotta see it? Well, I'll pull it up here. I responded to it on Twitter. We'll see. I see was booty. I was like oof. Like it's bad, bro. I'm sorry. This is bad. This is just bad. This is a bad fight scene. This is just object. This is local. Here. Like here's the fight scene. I'm gonna play it once, if for those that see it. and then I'll play it back and explain to you if you missed it why it's trash. Because I knew they were going to have to sell this show on the fact that it has Daredevil characters in it, mainly Kingpin and now Daredevil. But this looks awful. Like, and they were going for something cool. You know, they tried to, you know, it's good that they're trying to recreate the Netflix Daredevil with the continuous camera, limiting the cuts, but that's terrible. You know, think it's complete. Yeah, that's what I was like, but I'm like, that's what I said, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. I'm like, bruh, they released that like that. I thought it was like, is that rehearsal footage? I legitimately thought that it was like leaked rehearsal footage when I first saw it. Because I'm like, ain't no way this is a real Marvel fight scene from a multi-million-dollar Marvel project with Daredevil. Like, there's no way. That was released on television. That's why I was so confused. I was like, the quality is bad because it aired on television as a promo, and somebody recorded it and uploaded it, and it's been making the rounds. Kung Fu Panda's got best. Kung Fu Panda is a great movie. They have great fight scenes in this animation. This is like I made fun of the Ahsoka fight scenes because those were terrible too. But especially the Anakin versus Ahsoka fight scene, that was clearly horribly done. But even that, by comparison, looks like a masterpiece. This is like, hold up, like, look, like, do you understand how bad this is? Like, look at this. Can I slow this down? Yeah, good. We're gonna watch this slow. Let's slow this down. We're gonna watch this at 0.25 speed. Look at this. Echo swings, taps him, literally completely misses. You see how she completely missed him with the left hook. And Matt reacts like he got stole. Completely missed. Now he's swinging his baton. She's blocking as he's coming through. Pretends to hit her. Literally does not connect at all with this kick. And she just flies backward. That kick did not connect at all. And she just rolls backwards. Cool pose. Now she's just slowly kicking his baton. Like, what is that? She's just kicking the baton. This is where it gets really bad. Tends to hit her with both batons. Doesn't connect. Like, this is like, they had some cool ideas. It just looks like they didn't rehearse it properly. Like, pretends that did anything. Look at this. Look, bro, what is this? She sits down on the ground. He was about to clock her in the face. And then she slowly sits down on the ground. Like, she's wide open here. He has a ranged weapon. And instead of hitting her in the head, he stops, waits for her to get in position, completely misses her head, Then she slowly turns and it's just lightly extends her leg and just holds it there. What is this? What actually is this? It just leaves it there for like an uncomfortable amount of time. Then he just slaps it lightly and she just hops up. And then look, this is the funniest part. She completely mistimes this kick. She completely the choreography was she was supposed to sweep, pop up and hit him with a side kick, but the timing was off, so she had to stop and pause in midair so that he could get in position to receive the kick. And then she pretends that, and then she doesn't actually hit him, but he pretends he just got rocked. like this is actually bad. like this is not like, oh, this is like, oh, you know, one actor clearly has less experience than the other. This literally looks like they were rehearsing and hadn't learned the choreography and the steps yet. And they just said, nah, it's fine, roll it. Cut, print. They had to turn off the replies. This is awful. Bro, this is awful. Looks like you pretend to get hit by your brother. Like, literally, you can clearly, like, sometimes you have to slow it down. You can see in real time they're not actually hitting. Look at that fake punch. Cocks back. Does not she does not make any contact. Barely makes contact. This is where it gets really, really wacky. With the shotgun. And that's a shame because this should have been crazy. This one looks more that one looked more realistic, you know, the tackle from the guy. But once I got the Ego, it was just like, what is this? Like, this looked like a matter of not just bad choreography, because they had some good move ideas. It just looks like they just didn't execute, like they didn't give them time to actually rehearse it. Like, how do you watch this take and just be like, yep, that's the one. We're going to put this on TV. Look at this. Grabs a shotgun. And she has a shotgun. Matt is right there. He's completely vulnerable. This is a terrible idea. She has a shotgun. He's completely vulnerable. He's at the top of the fence, completely exposed. All she has to do is pull the trigger. He's cooked. She points away from him. She points away from him. Look at this. She's literally pointing in the opposite direction. She had him dead to rights at the top of the fence, and she points it away from him. Like, she's pointing to the left, fully to the left, and he's right in front of her with a shotgun. You can't miss in general with a shotgun. All she had to do was spray directly in front and it would hit. But she points it to the side as he's coming over the fence and fires. So it's like, look at this again. She has the gun. She closes the fence. grabs the shotgun. She's got it. It's loaded. She pumped it. He's still climbing. It's locked and loaded. He's done. He does not have time to do anything. All she has to do is point up and it's over. She points up as he's still climbing over and points to the left. Points to the left. And then lets it off. And then look. Not only does she point to the left, so it intentionally doesn't hit him, the choreography was supposed to be he hops over the fence and does a scissor kick to knock it out of her hand. But because he got there too late, while she already has the shotgun, she had to point the gun away from him so that it didn't hit her, so that it didn't hit him. And then look, because the choreography is she's supposed to get it kicked out of her hand, he kicks down, but he doesn't hit anything. But she pretends like it got knocked away from her. Because the choreography was supposed to be that he kicks it out of her hand. But she flinches away before he even makes contact. And then just holds and has the gun down as if it just got knocked out of her hand. Like literally, he should have been full of lead. This is unbelievably bad. Like, he should have been shot so many ways. Loaded. At the top. Point up and shoot is over. Point up and shoot over. Point up and shoot over. Points to the left. So she can miss on purpose. Then pulls the gun away before his kick makes contact. And flinches. As if she got hit. Stands up with the gun on the ground. Which she put there. She put the gun on the ground. Chat. She put the shotgun on the ground. Because the choreography was supposed to be he hops over the fence and kicks the gun out of her hand. But because they messed up the timing, she had to point the gun away from him. And then she flinched away before his kick made contact. And then she had to pretend like the gun got kicked out of her hand. So when she flinched away, she put the gun on the ground and stood up so that it looked like he kicked it out of her hand. Like, look at this. She has the gun. She pulls it away before the kick lands. He hits the ground. She's crouched out of view of the camera. She stands up, and now her hands are free. Hands are completely free. Shotgun is gone. She literally put it down. Bro, ain't no way. This is bad. Like this is actually bad. That's like I make fun of the quality of the Marvel, but that's actually like concerning how bad that is. And granted, like people were questioning me, like on my tweet, like what do you mean this looks great? Like people were saying that fight scene there was nothing wrong. Like I'm crazy. Like bro, are we looking at the same fight? What do you mean that's good? I just broke it down like slowly so you could see all the details, but even in fast motion, it looks trash. But yeah, it gets way worse when you actually slow it down and see the whole thing. Kindergarten is better than this. I've literally seen people recording choreography of fight scenes in their backyard for YouTube that are better than that. And I'm not even exaggerating, because there are some legitimately really talented amateur choreographers, people who just do it for like YouTube and everything like that, who aren't working on major productions. Even amateurs, like even people who are just doing it for fun, like that's bad. like, like, because and the reason that it's bad, like the Ahsoka fight scene with Anakin was bad because clearly they wanted to have it look like, they wanted to have Rosario Dawson do her own stunts in terms of the lightsaber combat. And Rosario Dawson is not like Hayden Christian Anderson. It's not like Hayden. She doesn't have years of experience with lightsaber training. She's not fast. She's not fluid. So because they didn't use a stunt double, that fight scene looks stiff and awkward because he's much faster and stronger, but because she's not experienced or as athletic, he has to slow down and do everything a lot more deliberate because they decided to not use the stunt double for Rosario. Like, and it's not just because he's a guy, because later on, when Ahsoka has a fight scene with that woman, she's actually an experienced martial artist. So once again, you can tell the difference between, even though she's much older too, you can tell the difference between the fluidity of someone who has like actual martial arts and weapons training versus someone who's just an actor who didn't really do that much training. That one was bad. The Daredevil one was bad because it's literally unfinished. That's literally, they didn't learn the choreography. They didn't have the timing down. And instead of just cutting that, they just said, nope, we're going to keep it and put that out. Like normally if a scene turned out like that, they were like, okay, cut, do it again. You know, you missed the timing here. You missed this here. You missed your cues here. Do it again, run it again. But for whatever reason, they cared so little about the quality of the project. They just said, you know what? Good enough. And just called it a day. Like that to me, that's worse. Because especially when they had people who did stunt stuff for the Daredevil on Netflix project that wanted to be involved in the MCU stuff going forward, who were told no. Like that just shows they don't care. That's a level, like there's a certain professional pride that you would expect and respect for the consumer. That shows that they care so little about their work and about the consumer that they're not even willing to let the actors learn the choreography. They're just like, as long as it looks somewhat presentable, fine. Those stupid Marvel fans aren't going to know the difference anyway. And you know what? They're right to some degree. I mean, they're getting roasted. That's why a bunch of people turned the comments off. But you're still seeing people that are defending that scene saying, oh yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's good. Because it's like, yeah, if you that's why constructive criticism is so important. Like if you accept slop, you're gonna get served slop. like that's slop. That's like, oh no, we don't care. We don't care about our work. We have no pride in our work. And we don't have any respect for the consumer. That's how you get a fight scene like that. And that's unfortunate. because even though no one asked for an Echo show, I could see the potential, because they were like, okay, we're trying to, you know, build out this like Netflix Daredevil universe back into the MCU. So let's make a gritty Netflix Daredevil style show that incorporates the Daredevil characters. And it could have worked if they like put in the work. Like, I don't care if they wanted to bring in an obscure character like Echo, you know, and change it up to check some boxes. You know, who cares? Like, if you want to bring in characters, you know, lesser known characters, original characters, go for it. Just execute it correctly. That's the issue, because when Echo fails, and it will, and people are roasting it, they're gonna say, "Oh, people are just hating it because she's indigenous, and you know they're bigots or whatever." And no, and that's what annoys me, because it's much more disrespectful to release something that bad than to be a person on the internet who's complaining about it because woke or whatever. Like, those people, yeah, what you can say what you will about them, but to me, it's much more disrespectful to claim to be a champion of diversity, to claim that you care about diversity and inclusion and giving characters like that spotlight, and then having them out there looking stupid. To me, that's much more disrespectful. If you actually cared about her culture, if you actually cared about that character, you would have not released something like that to the public. You would have taken the time, had them learn the choreography, and filmed it properly. But because you didn't care, you put it out like that. But bet if someone criticizes it, they'll be accused of being bigots or whatever. And that's really annoys me. It's not, because you're making diversity seem like immediately a bad thing. Like, it's not bad to have diverse characters. It's not bad to have female protagonists, but because they're putting out work that's objectively bad and low effort, it's causing people to subconsciously associate diversity with low quality, which I think is much worse and insidious. Because that's not fair. We should obviously have female heroes. There are some great female Marvel characters. We should obviously have non-white heroes. There's some great ones. There's some great ones throughout. But if every time you do it, it's low quality, people aren't going to give stuff a chance. Just off the strength of, oh well, it looks diverse, so it's going to be bad. Like, that's not not fair. That's not what people should. That's not an expectation people should have. But because these companies don't actually care and aren't putting in the effort to, you know, take the time, hire good, talented people to bring this stuff to life, you get low quality trash like that. And then people are just like, see, that's why you don't go woke. Like, it has nothing to do with it. It's just like, no, just don't put out trash. It doesn't matter if it's diverse or not. Just don't put out trash. Avengers 5 got mixed feelings with fans. There was let me see if I can find a story of the Avengers 5, a prediction of the current Avengers 5 roster, because that's definitely interesting, potentially. Because the MCU is in a kind of a weird place. So it is fair to wonder, what would the Avengers 5 roster be like? Off the bat, reportedly there's not going to be a Spider-Man in the Avengers 5. Here we go. So Avengers 5 potentially, and Alex clarified, this is a partial Avengers lineup if Marvel only moves forward with the progress they have right now and don't delay Avengers 5. Not what the final lineup looks like. So if they don't delay Avengers 5, this is potentially what the lineup would look like. Spider-Man is supposed to come back in after his movie comes out, but that sounds like it got delayed. But look, so we got Captain America, Captain Marvel, Falcon. They're going to have a new one. They're going to introduce a new Falcon. Hulk, Wong, Valkyrie, Shang-Chi, Katie, Ant-Man, and the Wasp. Spider-Man is in a different, so there's no Doctor Strange because of the events of Multiverse of Madness. He's in that dimension with Clea doing some stuff over there. And Spider-Man is going to be reintroduced after he has his Spider-Man 4, because the whole world, Tony's gone. The whole world forgot he's Peter Parker, thanks to Doctor Strange's magic. So now he's like on his own. Yeah, no War Machine. This is not the final roster, but based on insiders, based on the current projects, this is what Alex estimates is going to be would be the Avengers 5 roster as of Avengers 5. No Thor, Valkyrie instead of Thor. I'm not sure if Katie is a reference to Katie Chen or Kate Bishop. I think it's Katie Chen, because he mentioned that Kamala and everyone like that aren't going to be involved because they're tied up with the Young Avengers. They're apparently moving forward with the Young Avengers, and I remember Kate Bishop was one of the people that Kamala recruited for the Young Avengers. I think she was the second one she recruited after Cassie. She-Hulk apparently doesn't want to be a superhero, so she's not going to be involved. That's the whole thing. Well, to me, this tells me that they know that She-Hulk's not going to be that popular going forward for now. And but yeah, her motivation in her own series was that she has no interest in being a superhero. She's just protecting her own. So for now, no She-Hulk. But yeah, I think Kate Bishop is tied up with Cassie and Kamala, in the Young Avengers thing. What's up, Lucky? This is the down bad Avengers lineup. It is this is a rough one. You know, this is the lineup for the solo films. Yeah, this is reportedly a part, assuming they don't, yes, according to his insider, assuming they don't delay Avengers 5 and they go forward with the current projects. This is his guess of what the Avengers roster would potentially look like. Not the final list, but this is his best guess as of right now. And yeah. So Sam Wilson, Captain America, Captain Marvel, new Falcon. I think they're introducing a new Falcon in Captain America 4. They're bringing back Hulk. You got Wong standing in place of Doctor Strange. Valkyrie standing in place of Thor. I guess he's busy being a dad to Love. Shang-Chi back over Katie, which I think is reference to Shang-Chi's best friend, who suddenly became a expert archer at the end of his movie than Ant-Man and the Wasp, which would be crazy. So, and I'm guessing Young Avengers is going to be like Cassie, Kamala, Kate Bishop, America Chavez, Hulkling. I mean, Scar, Hulk's son that they introduced in She-Hulk. That sounds like that would be the potentially Young Avengers roster. Definitely Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, and Kamala Khan. That's the definitely confirmed Young Avengers so far. I know Ryan Reynolds is pissed about Disney trying to ruin Deadpool. I mean, so far it seems okay. I think Deadpool might be the only good Marvel movie we get for a long time. We'll see how everything turns out with the Avengers stuff. But if you think they're going to ruin the X-Men, yes. Honestly, I think they're going to ruin it all. Like, I'm hopeful. We've seen some signs that Disney might be at least trying to turn things around. Like, they kind of have no choice. Like, Bob Iger is getting pushed out the door. He's going to be gone. He's going to be gone regardless in the next couple years. They've lost just a staggering amount of money. Like, an insane amount of money they have lost. And they've shown signs that they're at least willing now to change stuff and having some more creative control. Like, remember when the information about Daredevil Born Again dropped, they said they implemented new policies about how they're going to develop Disney Plus shows going forward, you know, having a showrunner. Basically, they just listed all the things that every other outlet that does shows has been following for like decades, you know. Have a showrunner, have a pilot, you know, stuff like basic stuff. Like, yeah. So that's a start. They fired a bunch of people on the Blade project because reportedly that was heading for the Marvel situation. So they're fixing that apparently. They fired the original writer for Thunderbolts movie and brought in the writer for Beef, which is a really good show. So, you know, they fired after looking at the first 4 episodes of Daredevil Born Again, of course, they fired everybody, all the writer and director, and started over with a new team. So it shows signs that they're aware of the one of the problems. They're aware that there is a quality control problem and are trying to address it. So it makes me a little bit hopeful of the future that, Victoria Alonso's going as well. She was a big problem in terms of the VFX and the management side, politics aside. Like, they had a lot of bad things to say about her, how she managed projects. It's why the VFX was always so shaky, and they didn't have proper time for stuff. So at least there's signs that they're trying to right the ship to some degree, but I can't say that I'm super looking forward to the live action MCU X-Men, and have super confidence in it, because I don't. There's going to be Falcon. Let me find it. I forgot his name, but I remember reading before. They were eyeing a replacement Falcon. Let me see if they have it here. Yes, it's Sam. I think they had it. I think they were in casting someone too. But let me see if they have the cast right now for Captain America 4. I think was it Joaquin Torres? Yep. Yeah, here it is. I found it. This is going to be the new Falcon. In the MCU. Yeah, Joaquin Torres. They introduced him in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, so since Sam Wilson is now Captain America in the MCU, they're gonna have still gonna have a new Falcon. So they're gonna have Joaquin Torres from the comic, and they're gonna have Joaquin Torres come in, and he's gonna be the new Falcon. Yeah, so that Marvel roster is going to be the Sam Wilson version of Captain America, the Joaquin Torres version of Falcon, and then you have Captain Marvel, Hulk, Wong, Valkyrie, Shang-Chi and Katie from the Shang-Chi movie, and Ant-Man and Wasp, potentially. Honestly worried about the Hulk. They've honestly never got him right. I don't know if they never got him right. I'd say there were times they definitely got him right, or at least did a decent job. I would say, I'd say the Edward Norton Hulk. The movie wasn't the best, but I thought the Edward Norton Hulk was good. And then when they switched to Mark Ruffalo, I thought he was good up until Age of Ultron. But yeah, then things just started getting silly when they started really nerfing the character and making him a punchline. And then yeah, they obviously went way off the deep end in the She-Hulk show. They should reboot it though. You're right. I don't think they are, but maybe a soft reboot, at least in terms of how they portray him. Because like, if you're going to do a War Hulk movie, then you can't do the smart Hulk Banner thing. Like, he has to be, out of control or whatever. So maybe a reboot in terms of that. Have him go back to the more savage Hulk. Because you can't really have a proper World War Hulk movie if Hulk isn't like a planetary threat. That's what that is where I am concerned. Because if you're gonna do because they already ruined the Scar introduction, but if you're gonna do and I'm assuming we're not getting Planned Hulk, because that was basically Thor Ragnarok. So if we're not getting that, if they're not, unless they're going to use part of that movie to show us what happened while Banner was in space, what led to him getting Scar, they could do that. But based on unless they're going to reboot Scar, act like the She-Hulk show never happened, like that is the best thing they should do. They should pretend the She-Hulk show didn't happen and just do a proper World War Hulk movie, like a 3-hour War Hulk movie that starts with him, going on the spaceship and going away, doing his thing. Then that's actually a thing. That's also a thing. Like, how do you go into the World Breaker mode? Because that whole story is messed up from the start. Because the way it was supposed to go in the comics is Hulk is supposed to be such a problem on Earth in terms of the collateral damage and everything like that, that he gets tricked into being sent off world. Like, he was doing a mission for Fury. He's told he's doing a mission for Fury. Gets on a ship and finds out it's been programmed by Tony to send him to off world, to a planet where there's nobody going to be on it, so that he's not going to bother anyone ever again. And then it goes off course. He ends up on Sakaar and everything like that, And the reason why he comes back is because the ship that sent him there blows up and he loses his wife. And then he decides he's going to go back to Earth to get his revenge. And that's how we get the World Breaker storyline, where he comes to Earth and just basically goes full planetary rage mode and like fights like all the Avengers, everybody, all Earth's heroes have to try to fight Hulk and hold him off, and it gets bad. Like he's going off. He's like one of the most iconic scenes from that comic run is when he like starts sinking a continent just from stomping. Like, he takes a step. Like, that's how powerful his rage has gotten. He's like he's like threatening to sink continents just from his steps. Like, he's on a whole nother level. It's a crazy run. That ain't the MCU Hulk. They've set up none of this. They have not set up any of this. Like, Banner goes off world after training She-Hulk because he just because for reasons like he just goes on his own, and then he shows up chilling while she's having a barbecue with Matt Murdock and introduces his son and his terrible haircut. So I don't even know how. So I don't even know how they're going to do the War Hulk movie because he's back on Earth. He's not angry. He comes back with a Hawaiian shirt. Like oh, like the story's ruined already. So I don't know how they're going to do it. MCU Hulk is like, yes, completely nerfed. Completely nerfed. Not even just in terms of the accuracy of the story, but in terms of his actual power and the threat he poses to the planet. Yeah, completely nerfed. A proper World War Hulk story setup would have had Hulk by now just been like a true menace. And that's kind of what, like, they did a very small scale version of that in Age of Ultron, you know, because it became that whole thing where Black Widow was the only one that can calm him down. You know, sun's getting real low, big guy. And then he ended up getting on the ship and going to Sakaar. That was supposed to be the World. That was supposed to be the Planet Hulk setup. But instead, because they didn't have the rights to that yet, and because Taika Waititi doesn't care about comics at all, instead of doing a Planet Hulk movie, they did Thor Ragnarok, where he just happens to run into Hulk while he's there, and Hulk comes back, and it's a completely different thing from how it was in the comics. And then he comes back, becomes Smart Hulk, starts wearing sweaters and dabbing, like, and you know that's where we're at right now. But he was supposed to be a huge planetary threat that they had to force off world, and he wasn't supposed to come back at all until, you know, it was smashy smash time. But they completely ruined that, so they have to completely do a whole new Planet Hulk storyline. I don't know how to go. The only thing I can think of is maybe because of the multiversal stuff. I don't know. Maybe they do. Maybe they do an alternate version. Maybe they just kind of like do a soft, like a hard reboot in that they just like, oh, we're just gonna have this Planet Hulk storyline take place in an alternate universe where we didn't ruin the Hulk character and this whole storyline, and adapt it properly, and then show that storyline, or maybe have the Kang multiversal nonsense cause that version of the Hulk to get transported to the current MCU. That's the only way I can think of. That's the only way I can think of it, of doing it properly at this point. Just be like, oh yeah, this proper adaptation takes place on a different Marvel universe, and then we'll link them together with, you know, because of the Kang and the Loki and whatever. They're coming over, it's merging, whatever. and now we have a proper World War Hulk scenario where this variant of the Hulk comes in and they have to deal with it. Otherwise, I don't know how they're going to do the story. Yeah, they made Thor a joke, they made Hulk a joke, so yeah, this is going to be tough. The guy who directed the Hellboy 2 movie wanted to make a Hulk show. as a sequel to the Incredible Hulk film. Kevin said no because he wouldn't be in direct control. Classic Kevin. Yep, it's got to be a Kevin Feige production because those have been going well. They could make 2003 Hulk, Worldbreaker Hulk. Use the multiverse to bring in. Yeah. He's not, he's not on a level, and you just pump up his power. Yeah, for sure. That Edward Norton one. Yeah, he's not on the level of power of the comic version, but at least he's more closer to lore accurate than the current version. Crazy how Avengers did a better version of Hulk than MCU. The Avengers game. Yeah. That was interesting because the Marvel's Avengers game basically did a version of the Avengers movie. That's basically what they were trying to do. They basically reassemble. That's basically the first Avengers movie with AIM substituted in as for Loki, and with Kamala leading the narrative as the unifying driving force that's getting them together. Yeah, otherwise, the Avengers portrayal of Hulk, at least in terms of their version of Bruce Banner, I'd say was better. And because the first Avengers movie, I thought they did a good job of, Hulk is, this out of control monster. Because the Marvel's Avengers Hulk definitely not as strong as even the MCU Hulk at that time. But the acting and the way the portrayal was good. Because he fought Iron Man off screen, and he got, he beat up some AIM soldiers. He beat up Abomination, and you got folded by the Kree Sentry at the end, and had to get saved by Kamala. So overall, Avengers Hulk didn't really have like the best showings in terms of his strength, but the acting was good. Speaking of acting, this news hit yesterday. As fast as it started is over. Steven Yeun apparently will not be in the Thunderbolts, according to this latest report from the Hollywood Reporter. So this was weird. This is weird from the beginning, because Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead, he was supposed to be the Sentry. Shout out to Doom. I don't know how he felt about that one. I'm guessing that I'm assuming he's not taking that well. But reportedly, the story of the Thunderbolts was supposed to be about this. Was supposed to introduce the Sentry, but then they cast Steven Yeun to play the Sentry. Steven Yeun would have been a better Amadeus show. Yeah, exactly. Like that would make sense. Steven Yeun as the Sentry. I don't know about that one, Chief. And it's weird because before that, there was an insider who said that they saw him try on the suit, and it was like supposedly a crazy good suit for the Sentry. But then we get the report like, actually, no, he's not going to be Sentry anymore. Like that's who Steven Yeun was supposed to play. in the Thunderbolts movie. Sentry's kind of overpowered from what you're told. Oh yes, yes he is. Very much so. Yeah, this was always a weird choice, and not because of the race swapping, because Steven Yeun is not that like the Sentry is the Sentry is basically like Henry Cavill size. Like he's a big muscle bound hero. Like he's like that's literally like a Henry Cavill type of character in terms of the casting you'd have to do. And they picked Steven Yeun from the quintet. I'm like, I like Steve, but no. I never bought that. Amadeus show would have made sense. That nah. So yeah, glad he's not Sentry. Hope they still do Sentry. Honestly, get either Anthony Starr or Liam Hemsworth. Like those will work great. Yeah, this is the latest I heard about. Besides that, they're apparently casting members of a high-tech militia group to face off against the Thunderbolts team. People were speculating that it might be AIM, like maybe they're doing AIM. But I don't know. I would hope that they're still doing the Sentry, because I like that story of introducing the Sentry. Even though I don't like the Thunderbolts roster. But I like them introducing the Sentry. So I hope they still do it. But who knows at this point. What's up, Buggy? Dude went toe-to-toe with Burger Hawk, so yeah, he's real OP. For sure. Any previous Superman actor would obviously fit the bill. Yeah, pretty much. Like you have to be that type of shape. Obviously, they're going to nerf him because it's the MCU. They nerf everybody. It would be hilarious though if the Thunderbolts movie did introduce AIM, because they actually did introduce AIM in the MCU, but I think they got disbanded and it didn't go anywhere. They didn't go anywhere with it. But they did at one point exist in the MCU. It would be funny to see if we see a Monica Rappaccini pop up in the MCU leading AIM against the Thunderbolts. That actually would be funny. Now I'm thinking about it, they should actually do that. Cast Monica Rappaccini in the MCU, have her lead AIM against the Thunderbolts. Watch all the Avengers players scream. That would be actual comedy. I actually now want this to happen. Bring Monica to the MCU. Have her lead AIM against the Thunderbolts. You simp so hard for Monica in the Avengers game. I know a lot of you. I don't know why. I never understood the Monica simping in Avengers. I was like, nah. You think the Thunderbolts should be led by Zemo? Bigot. Of course you think it should be run by Zemo. Bigot. Now you should basically get Capte had some taste there. Capte was not one of the Monica enjoyers. Monica's motivation is she got dumped by the Hulk. What for it? What in the MCU? Because in the Avengers game, her motivation was that she had big ambitions, and she was basically using Banner and Charlton for their research in order for her to gain power with the whole Inhumans thing. But you think she should? You think has Banner had been romantically involved with anyone besides kind of Black Widow? Was that pretty much it? He basically just kind of had that weird thing with Black Widow, and that was it. And Betty, is that still part of it? Because that's the weird thing. You had Betty, but that was the Ed Norton. That was the Ed Norton Hulk, which I guess is kind of still canon. That's unclear how canon that is, because they didn't just swap actors. Like, they kind of just put that whole thing to the side because Marvel didn't have the rights to Hulk anymore for the movies. And then after that, when Ruffalo took over, the only person he had any like kind of romantic thing with was Natasha, and that was it. It would be hilarious if like just randomly they reveal, oh, by the way, it's Monica. We don't know who he hooked up with when he was off world. So it would be awkward to try to fit in Monica in that scenario, because he had his thing with Black Widow, which didn't really go anywhere. Then he apparently went off world to an alien planet and had a baby. Had a whole son. Like he left. It was just funny. He left the planet at the start of the She-Hulk show, and by the finale, he was back on Earth with a whole ass son, grow teenage son. So that was weird how that one played out. That one chicken to get it all. Technically, it is canon, but it's really if you close one eye and squint the other. The Hulk definitely needs a reboot for sure. If there's any character they need to reboot, it's definitely the Hulk. Like I've been hearing stuff about them potentially making a Nomad movie as an excuse to bring back Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. But if they're going to reboot one character, it should definitely be Hulk. Apparently, She-Hulk season 2 was going to bring back Liv Tyler as co-star in a buddy cop type story. Is She-Hulk season 2 officially canceled? I would give up. It would be wild if that one got an actual season 2. Eventually, I feel like after Secret Wars, is when they're going to is when we get the hard reboot, because you're going to have all the multiversal shenanigans. You're going to have, because this was all, you have all this multiverse stuff, all the Kangs, and then when Secret War comes out, it's just basically going to be every cameo imaginable, everybody from all across the multiverse. It's going to be all that. So if you're gonna reboot the MCU, it would be after that. I think eventually they might not have a choice, but I think that's the plan anyway. But even if it wasn't the plan, I think they're going to have to, because they got to figure out a way to get back to where they were, where they're able to have like established heroes that people want to come see in the movies. Because right now they don't have it. Like are you got rid of you basically don't care about Thor anymore, so you've been letting Taika Waititi just ruin him. You just got the film rights to the Hulk back, so they're going to test the waters to see how well that does. Obviously, you have Spider-Man. Everyone always wants to see Spider-Man. But you have a new Captain America. You basically made Falcon Captain America. But we'll see how well that one goes over. You don't have an Iron Man anymore. And spoiler alert, I don't think people are going to react to Riri Williams if they ever end up releasing her solo show the same way that they reacted to Robert Downey Jr.'s first Iron Man movie. So that's not going anywhere. Like once Secret Wars is over, they're gonna have to figure something else out. Like either, I'm guessing they're gonna hope they have some hit characters, some hit projects by then. Otherwise, yeah, like they're gonna have to do a hard reboot and just recast. Like you have a perfect Thor. You just need a director and a writer who actually respects the character. Hulk is a popular character. Again, you just have to do it right. People still like Doctor Strange. I don't know how well Sam Wilson's version of Captain America is going to do. But realistically, I don't think they should have a non-super soldier Captain America. That's just stupid. Regardless of the race swapping. A Captain America who's not a super soldier is not actually Captain America. Like that's I'm sorry, he's not. It's not. I'm not buying it. No, they gotta figure something else out. Talk these remakes for Thanos. Yeah, that was gonna be hard to pull off. Hopefully the DCU can take off. Well, I have more faith in the DCU because I mean some of those projects sound terrible, but I at least know James Gunn is a good writer and a good director. So there actually is some hope there. But yeah, if Superman Legacy flops, it's over. Like it's legitimately over. Superman Legacy has to succeed. And I don't mean just like, oh, 600, 700 million, 800, no. Superman Legacy has to be $1 billion movie, at least, if the DCU has a chance. Like it under no circumstances can make less money than Man of Steel. Like it can't. Like if Superman Legacy does worse than Man of Steel, it's over. It's over. If it makes less than $1 billion, it's almost over. Like it's going to be tough. $1 billion is crazy. I mean, Barbie did it. Super Mario did it. The Joker movie did it. Shit, Aquaman did it. Like, come on, bro. Like, if Jason Momoa's Aquaman can make $1 billion, how can your Superman movie not make $1 billion? At least. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's Superman. You have to. This is where you're starting the MC. This is where you're starting the DCU. Like, you have to start off with a banger. Like there's no other option. And based on the casting, it looks like it could be good. Like they did a great job casting Clark, Lois, and Lex. We got a Nathan Fillion Green Lantern. Like it's got some potential. They just have to deliver it, but people got to show up for it. You thought Blue Beetle started DCU? No, that was Cap. No. What James, so I think what he initially said was that Blue Beetle would be a part of the DCU going forward, but in terms of like actual DCU projects, that starts technically with Creature Commandos, which I think comes out this year. Gods and Monsters, it's like a Creature Commandos and Superman Legacy is the first movie. But Creature Commandos is technically the first DCU Gods and Monsters project. Because Blue Beetle was made as part of the DCU under that regime. Gods and Monsters is part of the James Gunn regime. And that's going to be, your Superman Legacy, your Creature Commandos, the Authority, all that good stuff. Both companies are ignoring 50 years of history, ignoring World War II heroes and rebooting the current crap. Better get Superman versus Brainiac or Mongol or something. That would be something. What's happened with the Iron Man game? Nothing so far. I mean, it's actually that's I'll probably do an update on all those games, but Iron Man should be getting closer to release. I think Iron Man is supposed to come out in 2025. I think that was the last estimate by Jeff Grubb, because it was relatively far along. The last official Iron Man update I heard was that they were already in like the playtesting phase, and I think that was in 2022, and they haven't even done a trailer yet. So before the end of the year, we should at the very least get a trailer for it, like a proper trailer, because I think it does have a 2025 release window. What are your thoughts on Injustice? Which one? The games or the storyline? Stellar Blade. I think, did they say, I think I heard third quarter. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm based on the because I know Black Myth Wukong is in the summer. Stellar Blade doesn't have a release date. They put up a bunch of PlayStation projects. So a lot of PlayStation projects like Rise of the Ronin, that's basically going to be it's all going to come out March, February. And then you have Black Myth Wukong in the summer. So I think Stellar Blade is going to come out in the fall. That seems to be where it's headed. Both games I haven't played any of the games. I downloaded Injustice 2, but I haven't played it yet. Heard Steven Yeun dropping the Sentry. Yep, covered that a little while ago. First, you think Reacher guy or Ryan Gosling to play Sentry? Yeah, definitely the Reacher guy would be interesting. I mean, actually, funny thing is, the guy who plays Reacher, he might actually be too ripped to play Sentry. Like, that guy's ridiculous. I don't know. I think he might be too unrealistic to play Sentry. That guy's too jacked. Ryan Gosling is thin, but as we saw in the Barbie movie, he could put on some muscle. Reacher guy could play Juggernaut. Like, that's how big he is. Like, dude's ridiculous. Think it was Batman. Oh, Ryan Gosling in a superhero franchise, I don't know. It has to be the right project. He's a great actor. It's hard to picture him as Batman though. Or any like other superhero. I think Ryan Gosling would be good as a villain. Reacher guy definitely too big. Definitely not a Batman. Guy's definitely too big to play Batman. I would not believe him as Batman. I believe him as the Hulk. Just paint him green. I don't know about Batman. He could be Bane after taking the poison. Like, after he gets injected and bulks up, yeah, he could be Bane. I don't know. Or a Solomon Grundy. They want to throw some extra makeup on him. I don't know about Bruce. Hope they don't mess up. I mean, it's the MCU. There's a very good chance that your favorite hero is going to get messed up. I mean, that's just the unfortunate reality we're in right now. But like I said, the writer on Thunderbolts right now wrote Beef, which is a really good show if you haven't seen it on Netflix. So at the very least, they have a writer that's actually good. It remains to be seen if that'll translate into a good movie. But at least the writer's good. We'll see we'll see if it translates to a good movie and if the studio gets out of the way and lets everyone cook. We'll see. But yeah, I'm not a super the literally the only MCU project I have confidence in is Deadpool 3. And that's only because of Ryan Reynolds. Because I know and they know how important it is that movie does well. And Ryan Reynolds wouldn't have signed on if they were going to mess it up. That's the great, because he fought so hard for that Deadpool character. So that's why I have confidence in that. Because if the MCU was going to do their shenanigans, then there wouldn't have been a Deadpool. Like he wouldn't even bother to do it. That's why, because he doesn't need the money. He has integrity. That's why when I heard like, oh, okay, he's going to get the R rating. They're going to have all this stuff in there. I'm like, cool. They're letting Ryan Reynolds in the team cook, because he was adamant that, hey, let me do Deadpool properly, and it's gonna be great. And fuck everyone over there that was like, no, R-rated superhero movie, nah, that can't do well. And then he finally got to do the project on his own terms, and he was proven right. So absolutely no way does he let the MCU run it into your ground. That's why I was happy that he was like, yeah, I'll do it, but it's got to be my way. So I think that's the only reason I think that project's going to actually be good, because you have a star who actually cares, who has power and control over it. Every other MCU project, I have no confidence in it, because they're messing everything else up. Maybe the new X-Men animated reboot is going to be decent. Maybe, we'll see. But other than that, for me, it's just Deadpool 3. Ryan W. Reynolds. Right. Thank God for Ryan Reynolds, because if it wasn't for Ryan Reynolds, it would be an even worse situation, because there'd be nothing to look forward to this year for Marvel. Because remember, the only other Marvel movies coming out this year are all from Sony. And I mean, just look at them. Just look at that upcoming Sony Marvel slate. Besides Beyond the Spider-Verse, like you're looking at Venom 3, Kraven the Hunter, and Madam Web. To be fair, I'm seeing Madam Web, and for the meme, but also because Sydney Sweeney is in it. I think that's pretty much the main reason people are going to go see this movie. But I've heard audience screenings say it was surprisingly good, so I don't know. I'm definitely unironically going to see Madam Web though, but everything else besides Beyond the Spider-Verse, nah. We definitely waiting for 2025. Thought Beyond the Spider-Verse was 2028. No, it's much sooner than that. That's like 2028 is like Spider-Man 3. Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out March 29th of this year, I think. Hold on, let me see. Let me check, make sure the latest is right. As the last I heard was March 29th. Yep. Yep, this spring. Friday, March 29th. Yep, it was delayed to Friday, March 29th. There was concern because of their strike, but now that it's over, they haven't said otherwise. They had to delay it. They had to delay everything indefinitely because of the strike. But it should be on track to release this year. Maybe it gets pushed to November, but it should still come out this year. I'm definitely not excited for Venom 3. I thought Venom 2 was bad. Man, but I'm just happy to see female spiders. I'm just happy to see Sydney Sweeney in a Spider-Man suit. Can't ask for much more. Venom 3 is... I like the first Venom, even though that final fight was stupid. Too dark. But Venom 2 had a lot of potential, and I just thought it sucked. The dynamic between Eddie and Venom just got old fast, and the PG-13 portrayal of Carnage was just like, I can't. What's supposed to happen to Venom 3? I have no idea. I've heard talk of them like uniting the Sony Spider-Verse, like bringing in Venom with Craven and everyone like that. I don't know what the plan for Venom 3 is. I'm really not excited for that movie at all. Animators were so stressed making Beyond the Spider-Verse. They're all gonna be bald when they make it. But at the end of it, they will have made a masterpiece. They can sleep when it's over. Once Beyond the Spider-Verse is done, then they can take all the time they need. Hey, how friendly he is. You're so mad about... Yeah, like Carnage is supposed to be a big deal. Like when I saw they were setting up Carnage, I was like, okay, yeah, this is something. And then it's like, whatever. Like not having it, bringing in Carnage for a Venom movie and not having a R rating is nuts. Like you can't have a Lethal Protector movie with Carnage and going with a PG rating, bro. It was so bad. You forgot about Craven? I have a feeling a lot of people are going to forget about Craven. I don't think that's going to be a movie that stands the test of time. Like to me, they completely wasted Carnage. I thought that was just really bad. I'm not looking forward to it. Venom 3 might be a wait till it comes on Max. type of movie for me. Because the other two, I was like, I gotta see them in theaters. Because I wasn't sure about the first Venom. But when I saw that the critics hated it and the audiences loved it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go see it in the theater. And I was like, oh, this is actually fun. So then when they teased, Carnage in the sequel with Woody Harrelson of all people, one of my favorite actors, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm definitely seeing this in the theater. And I saw him like, bro, I actually wanted to leave. Like it got bad. Like I even screamed like, why did I have her at the symbiote? Like yeah, they completely fumbled, and they didn't have to. Like they have to be able to. They have to keep putting out Spider-Man related movies in order to keep the license. But why fumble? Like you had a hit with the first one. Why not take your time and make the second one a banger so you can keep the series going? I don't know. I don't know what they be doing over there. You have the Regal Unlimited Pass. You just go see the movies to get your money's worth. That's tough. I can't remember the last time I actually physically went out into a movie theater. I can't remember the last movie I saw in the theater. Because I've been skipping the Marvel ones for the most part. Was it Black Adam? I'm trying to think. Was Black Adam the last movie I saw in theaters? I'm trying. It's been a while since I got out to the theaters. Tom Holland is still Spider-Man, yeah, in the MCU. Aquaman 2, like I've heard it was okay. I heard it was kind of silly or whatever. It's just, mid, but it's the last one. It's the last one in the MCU. It's the last one in the DCEU. And I just didn't care at all, bro. Like, I kept forgetting it was coming out. Like I would hear someone mention it, or I see a trailer occasionally because they didn't have that. Feel like they didn't have that many. I'm like, oh yeah, this movie's coming out soon, and then I just forget about it. Like I have no desire to watch it. It's just like how Jay said. It might be like, cause, and that's the thing. I like Jason Momoa, but I wasn't a fan of Aquaman 1 to begin with. Like, I think Jason Momoa was going to be a great Lobo, but never really bought him as Aquaman. Didn't really like the first one that much. I thought it was fine, but mostly forgettable. I thought they did some cool stuff in there. Thought Black Manta is great. Other than that, don't care. And then when I heard about the second one, I'm like, nah, just no. Because the Amber, you wonder if we're going to get Aqualad. Well, I don't know what they're going. I don't know what James Gunn's plans are for the Aquaman character going forward. Because I'm pretty sure they're just going to have Momoa play Lobo. I would guess they recast Aquaman if they're going to bring him in at some point. Because the priority seems right now to be Superman, Batman, Green Lantern, and the Authority for reasons, because he loves them, and of course his Peacemaker universe. I don't know what they're going to do with Aquaman going forward. Because Aquaman is always like kind of the odd man out when it comes to superhero representation. Like, he doesn't have that many fans. He's got more fans now because of Jason Momoa, but I don't know. When I growing up, I never heard anyone say, "Oh man, know what hero I really like? Aquaman." I've never heard anyone rep Aquaman ever. like when everyone talked comics and superheroes and stuff, it was like the X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Green Arrow. Like, nobody talked about Aquaman. like nobody was like, yo, Aquaman's tough. Like, no, I'd never heard it. That's why the episode of Entourage was so funny when he booked the role of Aquaman, like an Aquaman solo movie. Because I was like, the idea of like a blockbuster Aquaman solo movie is just hilarious. And then it actually ended up happening in real life, like years later, with Jason Momoa. But before that, it was like Aquaman was kind of a joke. and then he became more mainstream because of DCU. But I was just never that big of a fan of the character. I thought Black Adam was pretty mid. It had some fun action stuff in there, but it definitely wasn't a Black. It was not really a Black Adam movie. It was more of a The Rock as a superhero movie, because that's not really Black Adam. It was also really dumb how they basically gave away like all the twists, including like the actual plot twist of the movie and like the trailer. So, that was goofy. And they also spoiled the Henry Cavill appearance, but it wasn't really a Black Adam movie. I love The Rock, but yeah, and I think that was part of the issue. Like, he really wanted to play the character, but The Rock is above all always going to play The Rock. Like, he protects his brand above all. If they want to do a proper Black Adam movie, they should have done it without The Rock, because that was never going to happen. Because The Rock doesn't want to be like, Rock isn't going to be a villain. That's not his character. That's not his brand. And you need that. That's like an essential part of Black Adam. He has to be kind of a villain. You remember that report of The Rock saying he didn't want to be in Shazam 2? I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, I wouldn't want to be associated with Shazam 2 either. That movie was dog water. I would have done the same. Like, keep me away from that trash. No, thank you. No, but The Rock was done with the whole thing after Black Adam flopped. Literally the only good thing The Rock did was lobby to get Henry Cavill back as Superman. That was the only good thing he did. And he would have succeeded if his movie wasn't, bad. It hadn't flopped. Because he had a whole plan. He was like, yep, I'm gonna bring my brand. I'm gonna take over the DCU. I'll bring back Henry Cavill. I'm gonna start this whole Black Adam thing. And we're gonna go off. And as soon as that movie flopped, it was over. It was like, oh, all that leverage went away. They got rid of Henry Cavill. James gonna say, let me take that off of you, big guy. You're gonna have to come up off that, big guy. I'm the only one shaking up hierarchies around here. That's unfortunate. But I'm willing to let James Gunn cook. He's done good movies. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy definitely not as good as Guardians of the Galaxy 1 overall, but definitely did some really good things. Like the whole Rocket storyline, I thought was better than everything they've done in the MCU. Almost. That was like just masterful. So I know James Gunn can make good movies. That's why, and the casting for Superman Legacy has been good. So I'm willing to let him cook. As long as James Gunn is directly involved with the project, it's probably going to be good. The other one's bit more of a toss-up. Like the Wonder Woman show that doesn't have Wonder Woman in it, it's basically Game of Thrones and Themyscira. That one sounds bad. Like that just sounds bad. I'm not gonna hold you. But the Green Lantern show with what they said is like True Detective, but with Hal and John, that sounds potentially fire. The Supergirl Woman Tomorrow, I'm currently reading the comic. Not too sure about how that one's going to turn out, but we'll see. You kind of almost threw the whole third one. Facts, like, like, and that never happened for me in like the MCU. But yeah, that Rocket, bro, they got me a couple times. Just joined Spider-Man 2. Nope, no video game anything really in the stream. We just focus on like the MCU, DCU. This was mainly focused on the stream, not to go over anything about the games or anything. Just wanted to test out the stream and just talk about the MCU and stuff like that. Feel like Batman would be good. I mean, it's Batman. For the most part, we know that they can make a good Batman movie. Like their Batman movies always eventually end up doing well. They may have some bad ones thrown in there, but eventually they figure it out. Like we know DC knows how to make a Batman product because that's all they do. Like every time they're in trouble, it's break glass, make a Batman project. Like they that's something they could always go back to. If you look back through all of the live action DC stuff, pretty much the only stuff that ever makes money really is Batman. Like that's the only ones that really end up doing anything, like especially in the last 20 years or so. You had the Schumacher Batman movies, which were bad, but you know, were popular to some degree. Then, you know, Christopher Nolan changed the superhero game with his Batman trilogy. Then they had a Batman adjacent hit with the Joker and Joaquin Phoenix. You had the Batman, you know, the Matt Reeves, which made money even during the pandemic. So when it comes to Batman, they're always going to find a way. But it would be nice if they could get a non-Batman hit every once in a while, more often at least. Like Batman has been carrying them for way too long. Like they got to figure out a way to get the other characters to shine. What's up, Mike? New Year's been good. Today's stream we're just focused on the MCU stuff and the DCU, a little bit of that. I'm thinking the only information I have I dropped a video a couple days ago. Uh, superhero reveals 2024. That one has all the latest about Spider-Man 2 and a bunch of other stuff you can expect. So if anyone hasn't seen that yet, definitely go check that out. That's basically my superhero video game 2024 preview. Imagine to make a Batman Who Laughs movie. See, as much again, too much Batman, but yeah, a Batman Who Laughs could be dope. But like, they got to figure out Batman. Like, first things first, they got to nail Superman. Batman, Spider-Man will always print money. Facts. And Superman should be that too. Like, Superman is an iconic character. Like, it's crazy that Superman isn't getting stuff out like everyone else. Like, Superman is iconic. He has a massive fan base. People love Superman. We should be getting Superman games and more movies, but but well, this could change with Superman Legacy. If Superman Legacy is a big hit, then I think we're going to see a big resurgence in Superman media. Because I think they're working on a Superman game right now in preparation for Superman Legacy, in case that one takes off. Because if it does, they're definitely going to want to capitalize and just give us more Superman stuff. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, Superman, he's Superman. He's the first superhero. But Batman carries all of DC on his back. Like, it's wild. Like, the only DC characters who are making him money is Batman and Harley Quinn. like they really got to figure stuff out. You hated Zoe as Catwoman? I thought she was overall great as Catwoman. I loved her. I loved her interpretation. I don't think she'll be back though, for other reasons. We need a good Green Lantern film. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a movie, but the Green Lantern show sounds like it's gonna be fire. They just gotta stick to landing. Nicole Toothpaste from Iron Man, from Batman Forever. You're counting on the Wing Avenger to deliver you from evil. They gotta figure something out. Like, we got 2 different Batman movies happening in the DCU already. Already we have more Batman projects. We got the actual DCU Batman, and then we have the sequel to the Batman from Matt Reeves. And then James Gunn also said he wanted Matt Reeves to do some DCU stuff. So potentially, if the sequel to the Batman does well, they're going to have to do a third one. And then they're also going to want to have him work on something in the DCU. So it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of Batman regardless. But as long as Superman Legacy is a hit, they're all good. But it's got to be, Superman Legacy's got to hit. Did Zoe do anything bad? Zoe got canceled on Twitter after some unfortunate stuff came out about shall we say inappropriate conduct with an underaged individual. We'll leave it at that. it got canceled not long after the movie. Not long after the movie came out. She was talking a little reckless, feeling herself a little bit, and then some stuff got dug up, and that was it. That was a Zoe Kravitz is over party. I was like, oof. Oof. That's tough. Oh well. They might have to race swap Catwoman again if they want to bring her back for another Batman movie. They're gonna be able to use her version. That ain't happening. I just race swap her back. No harm, no foul. if they want to use her again. If they want to use Catwoman again. So what's up, Anthony? The Penguin show's coming out. Yeah, that one looks like it's going to be pretty good. You loved Anne Hathaway. I'm a fan of Anne Hathaway mainly because of The Devil Wears Prada. I was not a fan of Anne Hathaway's Catwoman. I didn't think her performance was good. I didn't like Nolan's version of Catwoman, like, at all. And I like Anne Hathaway, but I did not like her Catwoman. I thought it was pretty dry. Her Catwoman performance was very much raisins in a potato salad, chicken with no seasoning. It was not great. I feel like the only actually good live action Catwoman portrayal was like really good was Michelle Pfeiffer and ironically Halle Berry. Like yes, even though her movie was terrible, one of the worst ever made, she did nail the spirit of Catwoman. like she was the most Catwoman. She got the cat. She the origin was weird. But that's a part of the writing just being, so bad. But I thought she understood the assignment when it came to Catwoman. Her and Michelle Pfeiffer, they got it. And I thought Zoe kind of channeled a lot of that and did a good job for the most part. Just unfortunately she won't be back. She won't be back. But yeah, Anne Hathaway's I thought was not good. I have not seen Jay's latest video. Guardians of the Galaxy is supposed to continue, but I don't think they have any plans right now. James Gunn already said, if you want to make another Guardians of the Galaxy, do your thing. And it's doable. In the comics, the Guardians lineup changes, and at the end of Guardians 3, they even set it up because, obviously Chris Pratt is moving on, Batista is moving on, Zoe Saldana, they're all done with their roles, so they were going to be leaving regardless, but they stuck around for James Gunn. But they had a new roster at the end of Guardians 3. So if they want to do another Guardians movie, just a matter of getting a new roster, getting the right person to do it. It's definitely going to be weird. It's definitely going to be weird if they do a Guardians movie without James Gunn. I feel like if they do one, it has to be like different. Like you can't hire someone to try to make a James Gunn style Guardians movie. You have to find a better interpretation. Because the whole reason Guardians was successful in the first place is because they had a great cast and James Gunn was passionate about the characters and found a good way to adapt them and make them likable. Because most people didn't know who they were before James Gunn. So if they do it again, like, don't just throw it out there just because. Like, find someone who legit is passionate about it, who's a good director, good writer, and do a whole new spin on it. So Sinks, watch the Spider-Man video. Appreciate you. But I wouldn't count on a Guardians movie happening anytime soon. That's definitely a long way away after James Gunn left. Yeah, they're not. I'd say it's probably going to be like at least 5 years before they try to make another Guardians movie. Like they're just focused on trying to stick the landing with Avengers 5 and 6 in the Kang Dynasty. Actually, speaking of which, what do y'all think of this casting? Colbin Domingo, apparently one of the potential candidates to replace Jonathan Majors as Kang. I haven't watched The Walking Dead in a while, but I do remember him in it, and he is a great actor. I could definitely see him playing Kang. I think that would definitely work, but the problem with the character is how the MCU introduced him. Like, it's relatively easy to find a talented black actor that you can replace Jonathan Majors with. The problem is the character itself. He kind of sucks. like Kang was never really like a favorite villain of comic fans anyway. And the way he was introduced in the MCU was just like not good. Like he's supposed, I don't know. You prefer Gus Fring? Oh, Juan Carlos. Well, that's obviously the standard choice for every villain, Juan Carlos Esposito. But just in general, like introducing Kang as like the next Thanos potentially, and having his first appearance ever in the MCU, getting stabbed by girl Loki is just like, what? What is this? He talks for 20 minutes and it gets stabbed. Like, this is the next Thanos? What is this? He gets beat up by Ant-Man? Like, and his next big appearance? Like how is this supposed to be a Kang level threat? How is it supposed to be a Thanos level threat? He just doesn't seem like a threat. It should have they should have been bringing in Doctor Doom. They should still bring in Doctor Doom. They should have had Doctor Doom. They should have been setting him up because you can't have Secret Wars without Doctor Doom. But they've been fumbling the bag. They still have time, but come on now. you gotta have Doctor Doom out there for Secret Wars, but Kang is just like, after seeing him get beat up in like every appearance, is like, why are we buying him as a threat? That's why I believe the reports that I'm hearing that Kang is basically gonna, the idea is that they're basically gonna, if you ever seen Naruto, they're basically gonna give Kang the Kaguya treatment, where he's basically going to be like Madara after he got the Sage of Six Path powers and get yeeted out of there by the Beyonder. And that's going to be like the big threat. And then they're going to have Doom, take the Beyonder's powers. Because that's what I can see as like the big threat. Because Kang itself is kind of too late to make him intimidating. You kind of have to figure like an alternative. Maybe do something with Sentry, because when they introduced Thanos, it was a slow buildup. It was like, oh, there's attack on New York. There's a force behind that, and then they gave you a little glimpse. Oh, he's in the chair, guy in the chair, and then you was like, okay, everyone's talking about the Mad Titan. Who's this? How much of a badass is he? And then it's like, oh, fine, I'll do it myself. You're like, okay, we're finally going to get to see what he's about. And then his first full length appearance is Infinity War. And in literally the first scene, he has beaten up every living Asgardian. And then he runs a fade with Hulk. 1v1, no weapons, and demolishes him so bad that he's afraid to come out for the rest of the movie. And then he wins. Like, the movie ends with him winning. Like, that's how you introduce a big villain. Establish him as a real threat. Having Kang just be a guy who loses all the time, it's like, that's not how you set up a villain. Like, he literally got beat up by Scott Lang. And like, Ant-Man as a character should get more respect. I think they've done a much better job of portraying Ant-Man in What If than in live action, in terms of how powerful he can be. But we didn't even get that. Kang in Ant-Man 3 was just an idiot. Like, he didn't use his power. He got beat up by the other Kangs. That's why he was in there. That's why he was in the quantum realm in the first place. He didn't use his powers properly. He got beat up by literal ants. And then he lost to Scott in a fist fight. Like, come on, bro. Like, how are we going to take this seriously? Sentry versus Hulk movie. I mean, they gotta do their Hulk properly first. That man Thanos beat the Hulk out of Bruce. Like, facts. Like, that's how you do a badass villain. All we see Kang do is talk and get beat up. That's all we see so far. He appears at the end of Loki, talks a lot, gets stabbed. Appears in Ant-Man 3, gets beat up. Appears in Loki season 2, gets beat up a lot. Does some talking, gets chased, still gets stabbed. like, like this, and Loki ends up on the throne at the end, being the new he who remains overlooking the timelines and whatever. Like there's nothing in there that makes me think, oh man, watch out for Kang now. Like, come on, bro. And they started off well too. Like at the be like they started out implying that, oh, Kang's just badass. Like, oh yeah, have I killed you before? You know, doing that stuff. And then it turns out it was all cap because there's absolutely no way he beat Thor. a very must have been a really weak Thor variant, because he definitely got trashed by the Lang family. Ain't no way you lost to a guy that used to work at Dairy Queen. And you talk about you beat Thor. Like, get out of here, bro. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Cast Sophia Vergara as Monica Ravicini. I mean, I don't see it at all, but any excuse to see Sophia Vergara, I'm all for it. That's the weirdest casting, but anything to get her into the MCU, I'm all for it. Hope they don't nerf her though. Actually, matter of fact, yeah, scratch that. Don't have her in the MCU. If you want Sophia Vergara, put her in DC. Yeah, but they're not going to. If you're a fan of Sophia Vergara, they're not going to treat her right under Disney. You want her in a R-rated DC project. you don't want her in this. You want her on Disney, especially on Disney Plus. That's not gonna work. They're gonna have her wearing a hoodie and sweatpants the entire time if they put her in the MCU. It's not even worth it. It wouldn't be even worth watching. Yeah, right. Think of the children. Yeah, they would definitely not capitalize on that one. No, thank you. Get her somewhere else. Because you see how they did Haley Atwell, right? She plays Peggy Carter. They always got her covered up. Like they go out of their way to cover her up. Kang should at least kill Janet or Hank to give us oh shit vibe. Gosh, you got stuck. That's a problem. And I think in one of the original ones, in one of the original endings they reshot, they had Scott get stuck there. I think they literally changed it like a month before the movie came out. They just took the easy way out. Like, oh yeah, let's just not have any consequences to this movie. Like it was literally pointless. Too much must cover. Exactly, bro. This ain't the early days of the MCU. This ain't the Iron Man 2 days. Disney was like, nope. What? Attractive women? Oh, no, 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 no. Ooh. We don't do that here. we're a family company. So soon as they took over, we saw some big changes. compare Black Widow and like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 1. Compare that Black Widow portrayal. Just compare Iron Man 1 and 2 to anything right now in MCU. You see the Disney influence. Side by side, you can very clearly see it. They were like, no, we're it's crazy that they did so well for so long. Like they held back, let the MCU build up, and then they decide to fumble. Eternals, oof. What did they even do with the Eternals? They're supposed to be coming back, but why? No one saw the movie. No one remembers the characters. Like they might as well just forget them. Disney did us dirty. They did themselves dirty because they're hurting themselves. Like they've lost billions of dollars. Billions. They have not had a successful movie since No Way Home. And that was a Sony movie. No Way Home was their last like really big successful movie. I think all their other projects, their Pixar movies, their Disney Plus shows, like they have lost a fortune. If it wasn't for the parks, they would have been cooked a long time ago. Guardians 3. And even Guardians 3, what, it made 800 million? Remember when an MCU movie making $1 billion was like, oh yeah, of course. It's an MCU movie. Remember that was like, oh yeah, that was the standard. It's the MCU. Now a Disney movie drops, you're like, oh my god. Now it's not a question of how many billions is it going to make. It's how much money are they going to lose on the project. So Guardians didn't end up losing them money, but it wasn't a big profit driver either. And I think that's a sign. It was definitely a sign of the decline of interest in the MCU, because I thought Guardians 3 definitely deserved to be like a $2 billion movie, at least $1 billion movie. Like the reason why because it didn't have a big turnout because of how much Ant-Man 3 was bombed and was trash, but ended up making some money because it had good word of mouth. But people just aren't showing up, opening weekend of Marvel movies like they used to, or any Disney project. They killed off half the Eternals in the goofiest ways. Like, who's even left? I know Makari and her guy are left, and I think Sprite. And is it like four of them left? I remember half of them. Like Makari is the only like interesting one. So Marvel Cuphead, Madam Web is going to bomb at the box office. That's cap. Madam Web is going to be the highest grossing movie of all time. You just wait and see. Madam Web is going to shock the world. It's like, you know how they memed that Morbius was like the biggest movie in the world for the meme? Madam Web is going to be a meme, but I think it's actually going to make a lot of money. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if when you read about Madam Web making over $1 billion. Do not be surprised. Remember you heard it here first. It's got Sydney Sweeney in it, which enough said, but it's also it's got big meme potential, and it's got positive audience test screenings. Plus, it's not connected to the MCU. I think people are going to be surprised with Madam Web. People only remember Harry Styles from Eternals, and I don't even remember Harry Styles from Eternals. I forgot about that random scene. Look at Madam Web from old Spider-Man series and comics, and look at her now. Well, it's an origin story. You see? This is their version of Madam Web when she was young and hot. and not old and blind. So it makes sense. Just go with it. I think that movie, unironically, I think that movie might actually be good. Well, not good, but it's going to be one of those movies I think that's like just good old fashioned fun. Like movies used to be like comic movies used to be like, some of them used to be in that tier where it's like, it's campy, it's goofy, but it's just a good time. I think that's going to be Madam Web. It's going to be goofy, but I think it's also going to be a good time. New actor Coleman Domingo. Yeah, if he's going to be the new Kang, I wouldn't mind that. Because he was great in The Walking Dead. But the bigger problem is that Kang as a character is bad. they gotta figure out a way to actually portray Kang as like a true threat. After, fumbling the bag so hard. If they manage that, then yeah, it should be alright. Do you think Echo would be good? No. No. I just broke down the trailer. I mean the leak fight scene from Echo. They actually released it as promo. Daredevil fighting Echo in the show. It's worse than I thought. That show is going to be dog water. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I see what they're going for. They want us to think it's a Netflix Daredevil. show. I can see I see that's what they want with the lighting, the type of combat they're showing, the heavy amount of Kingpin footage. I see they're going for something dark, mature, gritty. So I can respect that. But when I actually saw that fight scene and I broke it down, oh, this might be the worst thing they ever made. I'm not even exact. I can see why they wanted to give this one the Batgirl treatment and not release it. Just take the just take the loss as a tax write-off. That's holy, is that bad? And my expectations were low. I had the lowest of low expectations for Echo. I was like, all right, all the signs point to this is going to be bad. Like she was bad in the Hawkeye show. You know, they were trying to cancel this movie. They were trying to cancel this show, but they only kept it because they were worried about the strike going on too long and not having any content. They're releasing all 5 episodes. They're only doing 5 instead of 6 episodes. They're putting them all out at the same time. And the review embargo is the day of. Like if you're following the channel, you know enough about review embargoes. You know, typically the closer to release the review embargo is, usually that's a sign of how little confidence they have in the project. You know, some companies make that the standard review embargo, like right before launch, but usually for movies, it's like a week or so before, maybe a few days before. They'll be like, okay, if a movie starts coming out on Thursday, then you'll see reviews start trickling in on a Monday. You know, or they'll make the embargo that Tuesday. The review embargo for Echo is literally the day it comes out. Like when everyone is able to watch all 5 episodes of Echo, that's when everyone who already saw it is allowed to post their reviews. Which you know they have no faith in that project. They know those reviews aren't going to be good. They're like, no, we're releasing this the day of. Like, forget y'all. It's gonna, y'all ain't gonna review bomb our show. Ain't gonna try. We all know it's trash. Y'all need to see the reviews. Just go watch it. We're just throwing them all out there at the same time. You don't even have to read the reviews. Just, you know, the episodes are gonna be right there. Just go watch it. Well, that's crazy. Like, it's literally no point in even writing a review, like a real review, for if you're not able to even publish it until the day of. like so, you know, a lot of reviews are just going to be just roasting it. Just give us our hell. Like every sign points to the show being like dog water. And I was willing to give it a chance, because I was like, okay, well, based on the trailer, if it's dark and gritty, they got good fight scenes, they have a lot of Kingpin and Daredevil in this, it might be decent. But after seeing the quality of that fight scene, there's absolutely no way. This is gonna be an all-timer, bro. I think previously the worst, I think the worst Disney Plus show, just overall, that I saw might have been Book of Boba Fett. But Hawkeye was definitely my least favorite MCU show. I absolutely hated it. I thought that was the worst one. Echo looks like it's about to take that crown. The other fight scenes could be good, but if the most important fight scene in the entire show, which Daredevil definitely is, because that's the main reason people are watching this, if that fight scene, based on how important it is that bad, I can't imagine how bad the other ones are. Like, that's a fight scene they were supposed to, and you can tell what the way they shot it, that it was supposed to be like important, like a big deal. I guess that's why the trailer has so many cuts, because wow. If they couldn't even bother to try with the Daredevil fight scene, how bad are the non-Daredevil fight scenes going to be? I also heard that from some people who saw it already, that there was a problem with there not even being enough action. Like, they were saying there were parts where the story kind of drags. There's not much happening. I'm like, bro, this is gonna be rough, bro. It's offensive to me more so because not only did, obviously I, like everyone else, love the Netflix Daredevil show, but I grew up on fight scenes. I love good martial arts fight scenes, bro. My dad raised me on kung fu movies and stuff like that, bro. I've been watching that stuff since I was a child. Jackie Chan, Legend of Drunken Master, all Bruce Lee stuff. Ip Man. I was a huge fan of Jet Li. Like, I love a movie that has like legitimate fight choreography, like The Raid 1 and 2. Like, especially like the fancy CGI stuff like The Matrix can be cool, but like The Raid and The Raid 2, Ip Man, stuff like that, that's like more grounded. Like, I love that type of stuff. That's the main reason I gave Shang-Chi a chance, because based on the trailer, it looked like they were going to have some legit martial arts in it. And they did. Overall movie, not great. But the bus scene and the scene fighting on the building were 100% legit. So I really am a fan of a good fight scene, but I'm also super critical if you F it up. And especially because I've seen so many great ones, I know what a great fight scene looks like. So when I see one that's bad, it really stands out to me. And that one was an all-timer. You grew up on animated fight scenes mostly. I've grew up on all of them. And I'm a big anime fan. I grew up on kung fu movies primarily, but anything with good live action fight scenes, love it, because I respect the choreography. And when I got into anime, I was able to really appreciate that high level shonen, type of battle stuff. The stuff that you see in when I was a kid, I was like really into Full Metal Alchemist, obviously Dragon Ball, but the stuff they pull off now these days with like Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, really impressive stuff. But nothing to me beats, and anime to me is like a separate monster, but I just really love and appreciate like a good live action fight sequence because I recognize the degree of difficulty because it's not, you can't use animation, you can't cheap out with CGI. Like when you have legit people who can fight and you film it right and you choreograph it right, to me it's so impressive. I definitely appreciate it more. Like especially when you can like see, oh, they're not speeding this up, they're not using CGI. Like this guy legitimately is just a monster, and they're just doing a great job of capturing that. Like I love that. I love that sort of thing. So if you could be grounded and really good, I'm all for it. So news on the Hulk movie. So the latest is that apart from Red Hulk reportedly going to be making an appearance in it, it's going to be an Avengers type movie. Someone was mentioning how they wanted to have like a more grounded Avengers type movie, like leading into the crazy multiverse stuff. And that's basically what World War Hulk is going to be, which is what World War Hulk is supposed to be. Like in the comic run, it's supposed to be this huge event film, a huge event story where all Earth's mightiest heroes have to team up to take on the Hulk. So if that's the direction it's going, that's a good sign. But they got a lot of work to do because they've definitely ruined the Hulk so far. It's hard to do a live action fight. Of course, it's hard to do. It's hard to do anything at a high level. Animation is hard. Live action is hard, but that's why you appreciate it when it's done correctly. And why I was so critical of the Echo fight scene, because it's not just that it was like bad because, oh well, the actors they didn't really use stunt people who are really about that, and the actors themselves aren't really trained. It was literally just, oh, we care so little about this project. We're not even going to have the actors learn the choreography and the timing. We're just going to film it and just leave it at that. Like, we don't care if they mess up like blatantly. We're just going to put it out there. Like, it was so blatantly bad and unfinished. I was in disbelief. Like, that's why I had to slow it down and show chat frame by frame, like exactly how bad and unfinished that fight scene was. Like I'm still in shock that they're releasing that. I hope that they reshot that at some point and they accidentally released that as the promo, and they have a better version in the final cut of the film, because holy, that was bad. I'm definitely going to watch it now because I still have Disney Plus, and now I'm just curious how bad it is. But Jesus, that's a new low. But I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get some lunch. Appreciate everyone hanging out. I'm gonna, like I said at the beginning, I'm gonna be testing out some different live stuff. I want to go live more often, ideally in 2024, but I have to know exactly what I'm going to be doing. Obviously when Suicide Squad drops, I plan on doing a lot of Suicide Squad content, a lot of a lot of live streaming like the Avengers days. But other than that, I want to see what other stuff we can get going. So appreciate y'all. If you like any of these segments, any of these streams, make sure you drop a like, share. I'm Sadot the Gamer, signing out.